Welcome back to bring it to the table. Little bit of operational difficulties, but all things can be corrected when you have patience and tolerance, and it happens, if you're just here and you're still here, as we're ready, we just went through the years of Arthur Doc B from the age of 5 up until this point right here, 16, somewhere around here. We talked about the developmental stages, the environmental stages, the genetic stages, and the mental health. A couple of traumas that happened in life with the father shooting the mother, her brother getting shot by an insurance man, and just coming up in an environment where a whole lot of gambling and drinking all take place, which was the norm, right? For the life that she grew up in. It was the norm. This is what she grew, had no aspirations of being nothing but what she's seen. So that's where we at. That's the snapshot of what went down. So we're gonna
Got
move
it right.
forward
You got
now.
it right. You
We're
got it
gonna,
right.
we're gonna move forward because again, it's only a snapshot. You can never get a full share in one share. So at this point, 16, 17, did you complete high school?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, I was hanging with Queen Latifah because I had talent. So, I was rapping and stuff, I was dancing. I loved the clubs and everything. And that's where I met my daughter's father at Club Sensations in Newark, New Jersey,
Mm.
on Branford Place. Yep. And he was the finest DJ on the planet. Boy, I'm telling you, he's still doing that stuff right now today. He's amazing. And So we ended up getting married at 19.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because my family was very religious. My aunt, she didn't play that sleeping around and all this, that, and the third. But I was pregnant by 16. That was my first pregnant, and I got an abortion.
Okay.
Um, and I was trying to make sure that that never happened again, that type of situation, because I really believed in, marriage before sex, because I was taught that.
Right.
Although that didn't happen, I still wanted to make sure that if I was going to keep having sex, that I probably needed to be married to the people that I was at, the man that I was having sex with. And so
Right.
uh, he also went to church a lot. We went to church, and by 19 we got married,
Okay.
and we started a family. We lived in the projects, in Hyatt Court projects in Newark, New Jersey, where
Okay.
he was living there with his mom, and then she put us on the lease, and then we broke off as our own separate family and got our own apartment down there.
Nice.
And I remained there until married to him, and that did not work out. We stayed married about 5 years. And my
Okay.
daughter was about 4, something like that, when we broke up, 4 or 5, something like that. And but we were young, we was
Right.
19. We still had life to experience,
Right. Right.
trying to
Right.
play like we husband and wife and this, that, and the third. I still like going to clubs. He still liked to DJ. He liked it. Women, all the women love him or whatever. And
Right.
I know why today. He had that charisma, that charm. He was
Got
that
you.
guy. In the hood. And that's my boy right now today. We take the grandkids on vacation, like right now, today. That's the type
Wow.
of relationship that we got. I'm
Okay.
friends with his wife. He's friends with my husband. We respect each other. We got mutual understanding. We talk about our kids, our grandkids. We help out each other. And it happened to have fallen that way. It wasn't always that way.
Right.
I wasn't always that way. You
Got
know,
you.
I,
So
I, I'll
we'll
be
get to how
candid.
that got like that. So we don't want to put the carriage in front of the horse because they need
Right,
the whole. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like when you went off the deep end, we need to get to some of that. What happened at
Oh, I'm getting
some
there.
point?
But like I said, we stayed in the projects, and I started working in city hall, politics, doing all that stuff. I'm the girl that did everything right the first time, Azam. I didn't. When
Wow.
they say don't come off the porch, I didn't go off the porch. Don't go around the corner. I
Mm.
didn't go around the corner. I'm gonna whoop your ass. Then don't do it because you're gonna get a. I was very fearful of Big Mama. I didn't play with my mom.
Right.
When she said to do something, but why did I have to do that when I was her roadie? Like, I'm listening to my mom because I'm her roadie. So,
Right.
um, got married, lived in the projects, and stayed there. I think just a little bit. You know how they say you stay past your expiration date. And at some point, I became a part of a product of my environment, because it was a lot of smoking crack, in the 80s, going on down there in the projects and stuff. And I didn't know things that I know now after coming into, a life of recovery. I didn't know anything about substance. I would look. And one of the things that began to attract me after I was attracted to my mom hustle, was the drug boys in the neighborhood. So I started hanging with the drug boys in the neighborhood because they had fly cars. They had everything I didn't have as a kid coming up. They wanted. I had one thing I did do though. I went to school exam. Now I went to school. I was real smart.
Right.
I ended up at Essex County College. I ended up, doing some things at 19 and 20 and 21. I always had a hustle, and I always had a good job, and I always stayed in somebody's classroom. I was very studious, but I had that good side of me going on while I was taking care of this little girl. But I also had that other side of me that wanted to hang out with the drug boys and put in cars in my name for them.
Double life.
I was living that double life.
Double life.
Starting to transport stuff for them, rolling with them, guns up and down the highway, going to New York, back and forth, coming down here, doing all kinds of stuff. I was that girl that you could depend on, and I could fight.
Put all that together, you got to beat.
I was dangerous.
Okay.
So what I did was I became a product of my environment. Every summer I would send my daughter down south
to move out of the way.
Know her family, so she can know her family, and I get my 8-week break.
Okay.
I mean, literally. Always had the flyest cars, because you see who I was messing with. I'm driving in Benzes, I'm driving in BMWs, all kinds of cars, Range Rovers. I'm driving the best of everything. My project apartment looked like a condominium. I'm taking care of the hood the best I could. I'm the president, the vice president of the housing authority tenant association. I'm about to run for councilwoman or district leader. I'm doing some real good things, but I still had that other side of me.
Right.
And I'm still messing with the drug boys.
So when does it progress now?
And when my daughter,
go ahead.
When my daughter was 13, she went down south for pretty much the last time in the summer, because them drug boys helped me open up a beauty salon. They gave me money to open up a beauty salon. At this point, I'm divorced and separated from my daughter's father, and then now I remarried because I love marriage, and I'm not going to be sleeping with people and I'm not married with them. So I got remarried again, and that's when I started using crack cocaine. He went to jail. The second husband went to jail, and I went and met a guy who was a drug dealer in our neighborhood. I was working in City Hall and had beauty salons. That's what I was doing, and I was about to run for office in the city of Newark, New Jersey.
Wow. Wow. Who introduced you to it? What was your first? Let's talk about your first hit.
That first hit was crazy. Well, that summer my daughter was 13. She went down south, and I was like, man, and I was stacking. I was sitting on dough. Now I'm telling you, I had money up the butt. Even her college fund went out the window that summer.
That quick.
By the time she came back, I was a full-blown addict.
That quick.
I opened the door, let this guy in my house, and he never left. And my husband was in jail. Yep. So all of that took place, and it was a very, very dark time of my life. I had no idea if I would make it out of Hyatt Court projects alive or not. I would do stupid stuff when smoking crack cocaine, and stuff like walk outside into a Crip zone because everybody was Crips. That's when the gangs was flaring back up and things like that. And I was married to someone who was in the Bloods. He was locked up. He would teach me little things, but I was none of that. But when I smoke, I'm becoming anything and everything I wanted to be. In my mind, I was in these illusion and these hallucinations and things that took place under the influence would make me go into the community and do strange things.
What they call it? Some strange things for some change.
Yeah. Yeah,
y'all heard it first here. Click, like, share. And if you don't know, we're strict all over the place right now. Listen, thank y'all for coming out. We love y'all. Thank y'all for your support. We are here with Author Doc B. Journey from addiction to recovery. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that happened to me.
So talk about the progression. You start using, you're doing things, you're jeopardizing your life. You're going in neighborhoods you know you're not supposed to be in, but it don't matter now. They call that false courage, false pride, and all that because we're under the influence. How long did it take? How many years did it take before you hit your bottom?
Here's the thing. And some people find this hard to believe, but like I told you, I've always had hope because I always had hope because of the way that I was raised with my aunt and my mom sending us to church and stuff like that. You know, that's why I stayed married because I come from a long, and you're going to keep hearing me reference that I come from a long line of prayer warriors, a lineage. I'm talking about a clan. I understand my tribe. I don't have to find my tribe. I know my tribe.
And that's the big difference between knowing.
And a lot of people burn their bridges, so they have to separate from their core.
Right.
I didn't have to do that because I was always fully self-supporting because of the hustles that I've always, I didn't really need to lean on my tribe like that, but I still left them because addiction makes you leave your tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no control over none of that. Wow. So I had to leave, and I didn't. My addiction didn't travel. I stayed in a 4-block radius.
Oh, wow.
I didn't. I got high in one area all the time. Maybe once or twice. The dude that I was running with that started me getting high. Maybe once or twice he took me up South Orange Avenue in the oranges and, just rolling out with him. But even though I had hope, I had fear too. I was always scared to come outside of my comfort zone. Hyatt Court was my safety zone, my comfort zone. It's where my family was. That I was really a staple in the community. Like they knew me. I had beauty salons. I worked in City Hall. The drug boys would say, "Get me out of trouble," and I would help them in City Hall.
Got you.
So it took me 4 years. Now my daughter say 5. People think I was using off the porch. I'm not that girl that used that 13, 14, 15, 16. I did all that stuff. I did everything I was told to do by my mother because, like I said, I was scared of my mother, and I went to school and I graduated high school with honors, by the way. I was very, very smart, went to college, went to business school, even though I was raising my daughter without her dad. He was there, but he wasn't really there because we broke up, and I don't want to take no credit away from him. He did the best he could in his condition, and right now, I ended up using drugs for 4 to 5 years. That was it. The drug boys was knocking at my door, and at the end of my run, I was taking anything, even catapress, heroin, all kinds of drugs, oxys, Percocet. I was a garbage head. Alcohol 211 was, I could not go to sleep without it, could not wake up without. That was liquid crack. That's how it was for me.
Yeah.
You know, I had to have it. If I ain't had no alcohol when I woke up, it was getting ready to be a problem. I'm getting ready to get somebody.
So what we're hearing, y'all, it is one of the words we use in our clinical is called polysubstance abuser. You know what I'm saying? It was no longer a drug of choice. You got it. I'm with it. Let's do it.
At the end of the road, it was him, her, it, what, we,
come
why.
On, stop playing.
It was all that. I did not care. I did not care. And I wrote all of this in my book, Azam.
I gotta get it. I
wrote all of this in my book. I need for people to be free.
Get the book. Get the book. Get the book. It is there. And let's not forget, she was acknowledged on Amazon as well, one of the best sellers for her self-help book, A 30-Day Regimen. You know, so that's there too as well. So your bottom, what does that look like?
Bottom for me was I owed the drug dealers money. They was knocking at the door in the projects. I ran out the fire escape and went up, and I didn't go down because they would have killed me. I knocked at my neighbor's door, my neighbor's window on the fire escape in the projects of Hyatt Court, and she let me in. And I love that lady. I love that lady for that, because if she wouldn't have let me in, I would have died.
How old are you now?
Huh?
How old are you at this point?
29.
29.
I believe I was 29. Yep. And
did you stop then? Was that your last at that point? That fear?
I'm getting ready to tell you.
Go ahead. Yeah, let us know. Come on.
I'm getting ready to tell you. And so I ended up leaving to go down south. I went down south where I live now in Georgia to my cousin's wedding, and my mom and all the prayer warriors called me to a room in the hotel, and they took holy oil, rubbed it on their hands, and my cousin Mildred was an evangelist, and my mom sitting in the chair weeping, "Save my daughter, please, she's going to die." They laid hands all over me with the oil, and I was sagging, flabbing everywhere, butt naked in the room. My uncle was there, who was a minister, and then my aunt was there, my cousins was there, all the prayer warriors in my family was there praying for me. It was like a seance. I thought my head was going to spin around like the Exorcist. It was white stuff coming out my mouth. It was telling me to tarry for this holy thing that's supposed to come down and do something to me. And I never used drugs after that.
Wow.
So it was that. And then the next day was my birthday, June 5th.
Wow.
So they get.
Did y'all hear that? Hold up. Let me make sure they heard that. Gemini, we in the building.
We in
the building. Come on.
So that was the end of my road between the drug boys, between them praying for me, my family. When they prayed for me, what that did was that took the power back from the disease. And that showed me family love, because the disease made me forget that my family had my back no matter what. And that I was loved. The disease made me forget I was loved.
Wow. It talks about that.
So that prayer that they did, it wasn't scary. It was kind of spooky at first, a little bit, but then I know my family, they pray, they tarry for the Holy Spirit to do something, getting ready, and they are believers.
Come on now.
So we call people the book in Islam, they believed, and guess what? A part of me believed too, and I had hope, and I ain't never used drugs. It took 20 more days of me in active addiction. Then the drug boys knocked at my door. Then I went upstairs in the thing. That's the order that it went in. Started June the 4th, then my birthday June the 5th, then my cousin's wedding June the 6th. If I got this right, I hope and I do got it right. Sometimes I mess it up and my cousin will call me and be like, no, I got married June the 4th or whatever it is. But that was the time in 2005 that led me to June 29th, the drug boys at the door, and I never used drugs again. It was the prayer, it was the love of my mom and my family showing me all this love, giving me gifts and presents and stuff. You do know I came back to Newark and sold all that stuff, right? I sold all that stuff for days, borrowed money from the drug dealers, all that, did all that. It was one other thing that I did that was real bad at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. It was a little boy selling dope. He got to pay his mother bills the next day. And I ain't had no drugs. That was the end of my road. That really was it. That really was it. It's like I've been through so much in active addiction. I'm talking about really was an active addict for 4 to 5 years of my life.
So let me ask you, no detox, no treatment.
So when the lady opened up the door, up the window, and let me in upstairs, she ended up calling 911 because I thought they was gonna kill me, the drug boys. Well, the ambulance came and the fire department came first. I left out with the police because they was.
That's right. You left out with the bodyguard.
I left out with the police and never came back. So they took me to Beth Israel Medical Center. God bless this lady named Miss Pat, a nurse. You're back here again. Prior to me doing that, I had tried 13 different detox centers to get clean. In the 2 years, it only took me 2 years to realize I had a problem. My first 2 years of active addiction, I realized I had a problem. I lost my beauty salon. I lost city council. Like I lost my job as the vice president of the Hyatt Court projects that I lived in. It was a staple in my community for so many years. I lost my beauty salon. Everything was gone. I was no longer hustling. I was hustling backwards now. I was making runs for drug people and looking out for them and stuff. I used to do stupid stuff. I'm telling you, crazy stuff. But the bottom line is I did all of that. And I ended up going to Beth Israel that 13th time. And that was the time I heard a clear 12-step message.
Okay. So your journey begins there now.
So 2005, June 30th, 2005, I went to Newark Beth Israel Hospital. I woke up on the 30th clean.
Y'all heard it. Give it up. Show that love. Let's talk about your first 5 years of your 19 years. What did that look like? How did you get acclimated? Did you immediately get involved with a self-help program? Like what happened in your first 5 years?
So the first 5 years went like this. I was in Newark Beth Israel, and of course I got caught with my pants down in the men's unit, so they kicked me out. The same behaviors.
I'm about to go there. You put the drugs down. That's it. The disease manifests itself in obsessive and compulsive ways.
It did.
It has nothing to do with drugs.
It did. I was bad. It was horrible. And let me just tell the audience, I'm not ashamed or embarrassed. That's
right.
I'm none of those. I'm not. I'm excited. I'm exuberant. I'm happy. I'm elated that I'm still alive to tell this story, because somebody else might want to tell their truth, right? Somebody else might want to tell their truth, and they might get the help that they need from my story. So at that detox center, I heard a clear message of recovery, and the lady was there that used to babysit me, carrying the message. I knew her.
Oh,
That's my
Wow.
first angel. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's my first angel. And so, well, she's not my first. There was a lot of many other angels and miracles that was happening when I was getting high and I had court. Like people who got clean would tell me, I know a place you can go. Like this one man, he was a minister. Oh God, I love him. He wasn't always a minister. I watched him sell dope and get clean. And then this other guy was a maintenance guy. I watched him use dope and then get clean. I was like, man, look at all these. How did they do it? So I would ask them questions along my journey, and they would give me scripture and give me the literature from the 12-step place and give me addresses and stuff. I ain't never listened to them. You got $5, you got $2. That's what I needed. But the bottom line was this: the first 5 years it was not hard at all. I ended up leaving the detox because they kicked me out, and but I knew I had already heard the message. It pierced my soul. I had a ticket because the lady left me a bus ticket to get from Newark, New Jersey to Pennsylvania. And this is the first thing I heard. Don't go back home to the projects.
Wow.
Come to Philadelphia and get clean and stay clean. If you come, I got you. The lady said, call your mother. Gave me a cell phone. She called my mother down in Atlanta, Georgia. Ella, Tutu, my mom nickname. I got your daughter. Don't you worry about it. She gonna be all right. You can sleep now. And these things that I vividly remember, she told my mom she can sleep now. She ain't gotta worry about me no more. And that's exactly what happened. She left me a bus ticket. I left. I went over to Philly. I called my little cousin Junior. He had just got his first car, man, and he picked me up. And he kind of idolized me. And I was his big cousin that he just loved me so much. He had so much respect. He picked me up. And I told him what happened at the detox center. And he was like, you going your butt straight to the train station where you got that ticket. And he did. He took me to the train station. I got on New Jersey Transit, went down and crossed the bridge and got on SEPTA and went on into Philadelphia. Called the lady that left the phone number, Miss Sanders. I'm going to give her a shout out. Thank you, Sheila. I love you so much. And my journey began from there. It really did.
Good stuff. So let's talk about now. You get part of a 12-step fellowship, things going good. At some point you get sick.
Yeah. So while I was in the recovery house in it's called New Attitudes, by the way, shout out to New Attitudes, in Philly, I stayed there for like 18 months. I kept getting kicked out. They kept switching me to different house. Because my behavior? Yeah, my behaviors. I kept getting kicked out. I went to 4 different recovery houses before I stopped acting out and the behaviors started to subside. But it was the 12-step people that kept saying to me, don't act like this. You keep doing that. Stop doing this. We don't do that. We're in recovery now. And I began to listen and hear the repetitiveness of the literature that they read. And that stuff began to get deposited into me. Kind of reminded me of Sunday school when I went to Sunday school and started studying that stuff and, and remembering songs and hymns and things like that. That's how I used the fellowship for a long time. Before the program started to kick in, and I got a program for myself. So now I'm in my so now I'm 2 years clean, and I see people in the fellowship going to school, driving cars, living, looking happy. So they told me I'm out of outpatient treatment now because they sent me to outpatient in the recovery house. Right. I did 8 months of that. Oh God, I was gotten so. I had 4 different counselors in there. I was bad. I was like, man, you can't help me. You ain't no recovery. You don't know this and you don't know that. I was smarter than all of them. That's what I would tell myself. I was very sick. I was very sick, very sick. I would challenge people and everything. Oh gosh, I was really bad. Anyway, I survived all of that. I got through all of that to the other side and went to college. And that's when I fell in love with education.
Okay.
So by the time I was 3 years clean, I had a 2-year degree already, my associate's degree, but my disease had gotten a degree too. Don't get it twisted.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I was still behaving crazy, like doing crazy stuff or whatever. And I started working in the field right after my associate's degree. I became a counselor for a wonderful place called Gardenzia, and they my sponsor at that time, she taught me how to write papers, so I went on to my bachelor's degree in Philly, and then that was in 2011. And then, of course, I went on into the master's program of family therapy at Drexel University, but I finished online with North Central University with my master's in psychology. So I could have had a double master's degree. I could have had one in family therapy, but I left a year earlier because I was already making $68,000 with a bachelor's degree.
Wow.
So it ain't. Yeah, I was already making big bucks.
Wow.
Yeah, Philly don't owe me nothing. Philadelphia did me really good. They really, really did. I'm so grateful
Yeah.
for people that was recovering and encouraging me. I had dinosaurs and people telling me, keep going, go to school, keep going, keep going. And that was in the absence of my mom because my mom was down south. But my mom prided herself on bringing me my high school diploma. That's all she demanded. It was the people in the rooms and the people in the 12-step place that we go to that said, keep going, go get them the letters behind your name. And now I'm getting numbers behind my name. I got the letters, now I'm getting numbers. And so the second part, I got sick, I caught cancer, 2018. Moving forward, I caught cancer. I thought that was going to be the end. It was breast cancer, triple negative, meaning no receptors, the worst kind that travels fast, very aggressive. And so I educated myself about that. I found out I was studious,
Right.
I really did. And I found out I was studious. And mind you, I took my Shahada when I was 3 years clean. I just want to tell you that as well, too. Because in the program, it said that you can get a God of your own understanding. And I'm like, well, I've tried my mom's God. And I know that he was there because, I always had hope and I believed that one day I will stop what I was doing. So let me try my dad's God. And my dad was Muslim. So that's when I took my Shahada and went off into recovery. Plus Philly, that's like a predominantly Islamic community.
Yeah.
You're not going to go there and not know anything about Islam. So and that's alhamdulillah. I'm so grateful for
phenomenal
for being like that, because when I became a Muslim in my recovery and knowing where I came from in my Christianity walk and having this recovery program, this 12-step stuff, I was a beast. Like I can
imagine.
What I already knew without a shadow of a doubt that I would never, ever, never, ever, ever, never use drugs ever again. And I only went to college because I wanted to find out why I used drugs in the first place. That's the only reason I went to college. Why did you do that? Not realizing I spent all that money going to college when the 12-step program could have taught me why I used in the first place.
That part.
And it's okay. So I had the best of both worlds. When it comes to Islam and it comes to my recovery, I got the best of both worlds. And then when I didn't die from cancer, then I caught when I didn't die from crack addiction and I didn't die from cancer, then I caught COVID right at the beginning of the pandemic when everybody was going in on ventilators, they was pulling the plug and everything. Well, I lived. I didn't die. It was early on when they was putting the bodies in the freezers and all that stuff, and nobody knew how to treat it, knew what it was. And I was taking the air. They seeing that it lived in the nostrils up here somewhere. So I was taking a blow dryer and trying to burning up the things in my up my nose and burning my skin, trying to pull COVID in my face because nobody knew what it was. And these were the remedies and the things that was going on online that it was So I was doing everything that they said.
Everything.
I tried everything. But it was that program, that 12-step people in my home group and people like that came over to the house and gave me food and vitamin C's and was giving me all the remedies and telling me what to do and giving me the program and telling me to hold on. They lined up outside my house with big signs like, you can do this, you want to live, you can live, you want to live. And I'm in the middle of my doctorate program. Yep.
Wow.
So I reduced my classes so that I could fight cancer. Then COVID came. I reduced my classes again. And I never gave up. And finally, 2019, I graduated. I beat cancer. I beat crack addiction. I beat COVID. I started writing a book. And that's how my book gave birth to my book.
Wow. And that brings us to this podcast. It's the spinoff. You just heard it here first. the story of an addict, trauma after trauma after trauma, after adversity, after calamities, after looking to get killed by the very person that she was down with, to turn it around and look at her today. So, own business, private practice.
Yes. Doc B's Behavior Recovery Coaching Solutions, LLC.
All that.
Woo-hoo.
Website, all that.
Yes.
You know, I want to first say I'm very proud of you.
Thank
you. Very
you.
proud of you. And thank you for having me. This is an honor and a privilege right here. You know, no matter what. Like this is what showing up look like. I'm under the weather. I ain't hiccup for the last 4 days, but it was not gonna have no hiccup coming here and getting in the way. Right. So I want to thank you, and I pray the audience appreciated your journey. You know, what's next? What's next?
So in closing, what's next for me is probably going to be I wrote this screenplay, this screen stuff. You know how we do the podcasts? Well, I want to take it now to TV.
Gotcha.
It's called Addiction Court, like divorce court.
Oh,
real live assessments, real live assessments with real people. Parents, loved ones bringing their people to court. I'm going to assess them right there on the screen. You know, I'll have the DSM, I'll have the ASAM there, you know, the American Psychiatric Association, Psychology Association. I have all of my books right there, and it'll be like the people that have their law books and they're looking up things at this, that, and I will assess them right there. And I will probably and send them off to treatment. But the beauty of this show is going to be that there are experts ranging from peer specialists to case management to clinical counselors, helping them get placed into treatment here in Atlanta, Georgia, or wherever it is they want. Because some people are in active addiction and they still have insurance. Then real good insurance is that can send them out to the Betty Ford and out to, you know, wherever. But my show will predominantly be assessing them and getting them into treatment and getting them the help that they really want, and then bring them back 6 months later to see where they are, following up with them, and then bring them back a year later, follow up with them a year later. And that's what's next for Doc B, Addiction Court.
Okay. So basically, so y'all know what she's talking about. The DSM-4 is how we diagnose someone for particular reasons, from mild, moderate to severe. And then from that point there, the level of care becomes, and it can be from anywhere from intensive outpatient to residential to long-term, and there's different levels of long-term. And with just the detox, because anyone who might have an opiate more likely will have to do a detox first, or alcohol. Doc B, we want to thank you once again. Thank you for your time. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Remember, click, link, shite. You can always go back and replay this. There was a lot of information in there.
Yes.
You might see some of your family members going through what Doc explained this evening.
Yes.
And you can take this information back to them. But if not, y'all know where to find us at right here every Thursday, 8 p.m. with your author, Doc B, and your boy co-host, Azam Abdul-Azim. Peace, love, and happiness. My word is, check it out. You can't change what you're not willing to look at.
Good night, everybody.
Accept. Deuces.
Hey, that's good stuff right there. Good night, everybody. See y'all next week, next Thursday, 8 o'clock.